Live again. Sorry, I had to cut that off. I was trying to figure out what was going on with that comment stuff, and then also just didn't want to have a replay of me just stumbling over stuff and trying to figure stuff out. But yeah, so let me go over what I was talking about before. The my favorite assets for 2024, like I said, crypto is my favorite sector that I want to focus on for this bull run. But with interest rates coming down, the stock market is going to boom as well. So that's something I want to look into. But again, that's probably going to be after I do my crypto stuff. I don't want to get into the stock market until I could actually build out a portfolio. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to do down the line. And then with interest rates going down, I could see real estate being a lot of people's play, trying to get some property. I don't think prices will go down, but the fact that interest rates will go down, I think people are going to start. Well, not people are going to start, but it just makes sense since interest rates are down to start borrowing again and getting into some property, right? And I think people are kind of figuring out that like real estate prices are not going to come down, and they're just waiting for interest rates to come down since they're going to get into somewhat of a high value property. At least if they could get a lower interest rate for the time that they have the property, I think they'll consider, diving into something that's probably above their budget. But yeah, now specifically in the crypto space, I think, well, for me, I'm focusing on tokens within the Ethereum network, so the ERC tokens, and obviously Ethereum as well. I think there's a lot of upside in that. Especially, I was saying in one of my other live videos that I think an Ethereum ETF is going to get approved. Not that I think, I kind of like, I'm 95% sure it's going to get approved. Actually, I'm 100% sure it's going to get approved. I'm like 90 to 95% sure it's going to get approved this year. Because I have a feeling that they're going to be trying to talk about or try to like come up with something about like the smart contracts and all that stuff. They need more time to review. You know how the SEC is. They like to make an excuse for everything. I mean, look how long it took to approve the BTC ETF. So yeah, I would say that's where I'm focusing on. Like my investments are in the Ethereum network, in Ethereum, and then like coins under that. I'm not gonna say which ones because I don't want people to follow exactly what I'm doing. But I will, after I get out of my investment, I'll probably share that. But I want that to be like a separate video. I don't want to share that now and then somebody gets into the investment and then they're like, oh, I got into this because of you, and then I end up losing money. So I don't want that to be the case. And then BTC is a little overpriced for me. It's at 40. What is it at right now? Let's see. Let's look at the price. BTC is at 40. It's actually taking a dip, 43,400. So, but it's still overpriced for somebody like me. Now, if you have like millions of dollars, I think it would be a safe bet, just because I think we'll get to 100K this bull run. And I think when you could get into a short play like that and you're going to double your money, I think it's a no-brainer. So, yeah, I would say BTC for people that have a lot of money is a good play to get into, because then you don't have to do the guesswork. They already approved a BTC ETF. So, and BlackRock got into it. Valkyrie, Bitwise, like all these big players got into, like, have their own BTC ETF spot. So they actually have to buy physical Bitcoin to back up their ETF. So Bitcoin is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. So if you have big money, I would suggest that could be like your 5 year play where you just park that money there and you see like you just let it grow. Like you don't have to mess with it, in my opinion. Now stocks, like I haven't really been checking the stock market like that. Like I've been so focused on the crypto market that I haven't really thought about what stocks. Now, obviously, Tesla's like one of those stocks that is, I think it's a no-brainer because right now I think it's at like two. Let's see, I think it's at 250, 259. I think. Let's see, 218, and I think that can go. I think that could go to 500 in the next 3 to 5 years. So if if you have money that you can park and you could put in Tesla for the next 3 to 5 years and not have to worry about that money, I would say it's not financial advice, but I think that would be a good play too. And then you have stuff like Nvidia. I think Nvidia ran up a lot though. I mean, obviously um, they're a big player in the space with the chips and all that stuff. So that's another 3 to 5 year play for me. When I invest, I look for doubles. So if I can get a for sure double in the next 3 to 5 years, then that's where I go to. Or like double to a triple, right? Like have definitely be able to get me a double, but then have the potential to do at least a triple or a quadruple. And yeah, that's what I look for when I invest. So when I'm looking in the crypto space, I'm like, okay, this asset can give me at least a double, and I can, within 3 years, double my money. That's good. And the hard part is getting the actual money. I think the investing part, as long as you do the research, I mean, it's a hard part as well because you definitely got to make sure that you have a double in front of you. You don't want to put all this money into an investment and you don't have a double. That doesn't make any sense. Like you need to make sure you have a double so that way when you put, let's just say 50 to 100,000 into that investment, in 3 years you're not you're not surprised, or you're not like let down and you lost half of that value of the money you put in. So yeah, I try to make sure I'm 95 to 100% sure. And obviously you can't be 100% sure on an investment, but you can you could get it pretty darn close. Like for instance, like the Bitcoin play. Maybe like back in what Bitcoin came out in 2008, 2009. So maybe back in like 2012 to 2015, it was shaky, right? Because you had all these, like, you had the SEC constantly saying, oh, Bitcoin's a scam. You had like Jamie Dimon saying, oh, it's not a good investment. It's going to go to zero. Like everybody was saying it's going to go to zero. So maybe like during that time, it wasn't a good investment. But once they started approving like the futures, ETFs, and then they just approved the spot, even before the spot, I even want to mention the spot ETF. Like before that, it was kind of a short thing for me because one, it first came onto the scene in 2009. So I mean, by 2016, 2017, that's already 8 years in the game. So if it didn't go to zero by then, it was kind of like, okay, this thing is here to stay. Now, once you find out that the asset is here to stay, you need to find out the potential, right? And then I think at the time, Bitcoin was at probably a $200 trillion market, or not 200 trillion, $200 billion market cap, I think around 2016, 2017. So I was at a $200 billion market cap, and okay, it has 21 million coins in existence. There's not going to be any more. So it was just like common sense, like, okay, this thing is going to keep going up. And like they were comparing it to the market cap of gold, which I think is like 8.9 trillion, or it might be a little bit more. Maybe gold's like 10 or 11 trillion. I'm not sure. I gotta look it up. But it's up there, right? And people were saying, okay, it's gonna get get to at least half or a quarter of what gold did. So that's like a 2 trillion, $3 trillion market cap, and it's sitting at 200 billion. Like that's at least a 6, 7 extra money. So it was like a no brainer for me at least. So once you start putting the puzzle together, you'll start to see like, okay, this investment is a no brainer. Right now, how much money do you want to put in? It's up to you. Like you got to figure that out. Now, my thing is, you shouldn't put a small amount of money, but nothing that you're not comfortable with. But again, that's where the research comes in. I pride myself on doing the research first, so that way I could put a lot of money in. Because it just for me, if I'm gonna wait 3 years for us, but if I'm gonna wait 3 years for something, I'm going to make sure that, okay, it's going to provide me a good return. So I'm trying to put at least 20, 50K in it. So when I double my money, I have another 20K, I have another 50K at the end of that investment. So yeah. But yeah, that's my theory about investing. So no matter what your favorite asset is, whether it's real estate, crypto, stocks, you want to make sure that you can at least get a double out of that. And then once you assess, okay, I could get a double out of this asset, then you ask yourself, how long is it going to take to get that double? Okay, it's going to take me 2 to 3 years. All right, now you have the security that it's going to give you a double because you did the research, and then you also have the plan in which it's going to give, like the time frame in which it's going to give you that double, 3 years. So now all you got to do is put the money in and be patient. And I think patience is probably like one of people's downfall. They don't want to wait. They want instant gratification, but like if you want to see real returns, you're gonna have to wait. Now you can go into the trading, but I don't think trading is. I mean, you gotta like. There's a reason why 95 to 97% of traders lose money when they trade. It's because it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. So I think the best thing for people is to buy and hold, and it'll be easier to buy and hold once you do the research and you can make yourself comfortable. Okay, I know I'm putting all this money into this position, but at least it's going to, at least I'm sure that I'm going to get a double after 3 years. And then you just keep repeating that, and you keep building up that portfolio. But yeah, now, okay, we mentioned stocks, we mentioned crypto, we mentioned real estate. I wonder if anybody out there is flipping anything else, like some products, some computers, or like watches, anything like that. I was never into like flipping items like that, like buying stuff wholesale and then flipping. But I'm curious if anybody out there is like successful at flipping things like that. I know Richard Fame with the watches, he flips those, or he used to flip those. I'm not sure if he still does that, but I think that's pretty cool too. If you can find a product that people like or people want, and you're able to get that at a real cheap price and able to secure a double, or maybe even 30% on your money is good. You don't always have to get a double. I would say for products and stuff like that, you won't. It's probably harder to get a double, but you could get at least 30 to 40% of your money, and those are like quick turnarounds. Like, okay, I bought this watch. Within 2 weeks, I find a seller, and I make 30-40% of my money. That's pretty good too. Right, I would consider those assets as well, because you could make money on them, and they are assets. They're not assets like in the sense that, okay, they could go up in value, but they're more like just physical. They're not paper. I mean, I guess real estate's physical, but you can't move that. They're easy to move, right? They're physical and they're easy to move. It's not like real estate. But yeah, those are other assets as well. I'm trying to see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm trying to. I think I mentioned earlier. I want to after I get out of crypto, because so my plan is to this bull run. I think the crypto bull run's gonna last 2 years. So my plan is to get out this bull run. So this bull run will end, in my opinion, happening is in April. I think we'll go all of 2024, and then maybe the end of 2025 will be the end of the bull run, or maybe even a few months before that. So, yeah, I think the bull run will end at the end of 2025, maybe going into a little bit of 2026, and that's it. I think the bear market will start again. I don't think it'll be as bad because now that we have like institutions being able to buy physical Bitcoin, and then if Ethereum gets approved, that's just going to lead to other crypto assets being approved. But I think I don't think the bear markets are going to be as bad, but I could be wrong. It could be too that now that we have institutions in the mix, they're going to start to trade and manipulate the market in ways we never seen before. So they could probably sell big positions. They might have a separate department where they're just trading and trying to manipulate the market. So hey, I could be wrong. It could be maybe another cycle before we see some like stability in the crypto market, like the like the stock market. You don't really see like the Dow Jones or the S&P take huge like dips. Every now and then they do, like when we have a crisis or like a pandemic or whatever the case may be, you'll see like significant dips. But I mean, the dips in crypto are like 100% to 200%. So it's not like your typical market. So yeah, but we'll see once the institutions get into the mix, what the market's gonna act like as far as volatility. But yeah, I think the bull market will end there. So once I get my money out of the crypto space, at the end of this bull market, I want to build a solid stock portfolio. I'm not gonna call it quits with crypto, but I'll probably be a little more conservative. Like the plays that I'm into now, they're a little risky, but I've done my research on it, so I'm pretty confident in what I'm invested in. But it is way riskier. I'll probably just stick to like Bitcoin and Ethereum the following cycles, maybe like an altcoin or two, but I won't put the majority of my money in that. And then once I build out my stock portfolio, so I want to build out my stock portfolio, and I think it's going to be mainly ETFs. It'll probably be a good chunk of of the money I put in will be in ETFs, but I'll probably just I'll probably get like one or two solid stocks where I put a lot of money in, maybe like a Tesla, and then just ride that out. All right, because I want to get to the point where I get into like a Vanguard ETF, I'm getting paid dividends and stuff like that, and then I can just keep adding to that position, and then maybe keep trading in and out of stocks on a 2 to 3 year basis, not anything like a day-to-day basis, unless I see a real good opportunity with a high market cap stock where I know it's not going to go to zero. Maybe I take a quick trade, but nothing to where I'm going to become like a day trader. But yeah, that's my plan. Those are my favorite assets. This video is going to end, but you're going to be able to replay it. Let me know your favorite assets in the comments, what you're invested in, and what you look forward to in the bull run. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.